Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Legend Lore Chat on the Brawlhalla Lore YouTube channel. I am Barendipitous, and with me is Ashy Arts.
Hello.
Hello. So, Ashy Arts is apparently not feeling actually playing Brawlhalla. Busy enough with Skullgirls. Can't imagine why, but.
I'm about to go to my computer and just draw for the next thing, so carry on with your comments.
I'm slightly sorry. Anyway, we're talking about Teros today, the Minotaur. Before I begin, fun little fact, I'm listening through all of the BMG dev streams from like the very, very beginning when they have dev streams on their YouTube channel. And I'm at like number 6 right now, so there's a lot to listen to. But by about stream 6 or 7, they were introducing Teros. That was like their newest character. And Axe would be the newest weapon as well. So, anyway, Brawlhalla's gone so far since then. In any case, Ashley, do you have a quote you prefer to read? Or would you like me to read both of them?
First one, because I don't want to try to do a Teros voice.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Alright. Searching the Dragon's Chamber, we have yet to find another passage leading down. By the Dwarf's reckoning, we are now 20 levels below Gurin Keep. After a long descent, we emerged into the center of a vast stone labyrinth. We're going for it, and the survival of heroes hire expedition to Peril Mountain.
Indeed. I'm going to attempt a voice. This probably won't be very good.
I hate adventurers. Always so sure. Like they have a magic spell that can tell good from evil, right from wrong.
Teros. As the story goes, the orphan boy calf Teros relied on his terrible visage and instinct for sudden violence to survive on the streets of Dragonport. He got by as a stone carrier and debt collector until, in gladiator pits, he found his true calling in reckless combat. I love that he was a debt collector at one point.
Give me your money.
He thrived in the ring, crushing cleverer foes with implacable fury and animal wile. In the end, he could only be pitted against the rare ogre or giant, and he moved on to a life of wandering. For a time, he carved out a life in Fangwild Forest, shouldering aside a wyvern and a hobgoblin clan. Later, he fell in with the Iron Legion, turning the tide of the Battle of Orc Pass for the Zombie Lord. His tenure as Wizard's henchman ended typically, with the evil mage shrieking to him, "Finish them!" while fleeing through a magic portal. He lived for a while deep in Peril Mountain, where he found a strange comfort in the maze of abandoned tunnels. In Brawlhalla, Teros is indifferent to the rules or intent of the tournament, but takes savage joy in all battle. His nightly visit to the mead hall is heralded by throngs of fleeing Valhallans. As a D&D fan myself, there's several things in here that I really love, but I'll go into the connections first. The connections I found, Bryn was the one who brought Teros to Brawlhalla. I can't remember exactly where I read that. That might be in Bryn's lore or something, but yeah, I know Teros, Asuri, Yumiko, and Petra are the ones that we know Bryn brought in for sure.
For sure. Fate, too.
Fate, I keep forgetting about Fate. How could I possibly forget Fate?
Yeah, she was literally ready. She knew it was coming. She's like, "Oh,
I have my bags all packed up. I have my bags all packed up, hon."
I don't want to be here.
You actually have a really good Fate voice right there. Ember befriended Teros in the Fangwild, so you can read that in Ember's lore. Teros was also the first crew monster recruited by Sidra while they were in Brawlhalla. His loyalty to her is unshakable. Which makes me wonder what other monsters are on Sidra's crew. And then finally, Zol's innovative use of the tactic Minotaur release is still studied today. Zol was the leader of the Iron Legion while Teros fell in with them, I assume. So, but yeah, there are a lot of things in here that I think that refer to later legends that come much later. And so clearly, Blue Mammoth Games kind of looks at all of these lore pieces and says, we could connect this somehow and this somehow, and that kind of thing.
Teros is just full of people. I think there's someone else in the lore. I don't remember who else has like a lot of connections.
There's
only Mirage.
Mirage has a few, I think. I can't quite remember either, at least off the top of my head. But in any case, so yeah, Teros is the Minotaur, stereotypical Minotaur. Many people may have noticed that the pendant on his chest, in the default skin, is the symbol of Teros. I think it's like the zodiac symbol of Teros or something. But yeah, Minotaur, the word, comes from two different words. I mean, it's a classic fantasy monster, of course. The origins are in Greek mythology, and unsurprisingly. It comes from two Greek words. The tar part comes from the Greek word for bull, which that makes sense. Every time we hear like a Taurus or Taurol or whatever from any fantasy setting, we know it's referring to some sort of bull creature. The minnow part comes from Minos. If you've heard of the classic Greek tale about Theseus and the Minotaur and how King Minos had a labyrinth built to keep the Minotaur closed in, and then King Minos kept sacrificing people to the Minotaur, and so Theseus is like, nah, dude, I can't have that. So Theseus goes into the labyrinth and slays the Minotaur. So it's a bull from Minos, Minotaur. So, yeah, and there's lots of other Greek mythology stuff here, and like there's a lot more to the story of the Greek story of the Minotaur than that. But I don't think it's entirely relevant here because Teros is his own thing, of course. Wait, no, dang it! I didn't pick the right map. I should have picked the Lost Passage or something. Oh, Fangwild. I'm in the Fangwild. This is rather appropriate.
3, 2,
Excellent.
1, brawl.
But yeah, I do like that Teros's weapons are hammer and axe. There are a surprising number of fantasy art pieces that show Minotaurs with axes. Whether or not Minotaurs actually would use axes is up for debate, I guess, or at least whether like they could use something else. There's just a YouTube channel that I look at sometimes called Shadiversity. It's this guy who looks at fantasy tropes and compares them to real world European history and stuff. He suggested that Minotaurs could use just like big shield or something to slam people into, basically, because of their brute strength.
They want to be cruel creatures. They don't care about anything.
Yeah. So but I have wondered why Minotaurs are seen with axes more than anything, but anything heavy, anything that like would slam you into a labyrinth wall would be rather appropriate, I think.
Hammer would be good for that too, right?
There we go. I almost got Queen 9. There we go. And I almost did the second half of Russian Mafia kind of thing.
Nice.
I was actually very, very proud of myself when I finally did Russian Mafia in training mode. I know it's not very practical, but gosh, it looks too cool. Anyway, what else about Teros? A few things in the lore. So first of all, Flink and Furfoot and the whole Heroes for Hire thing. I was curious if Flink and Furfoot was a reference to anybody. The name sounds like a hobbit to me, or a halfling, right? Because usually in Lord of the Rings, hobbits have furry feet, and I think it's the same for just halflings in general in most fantasy settings. So if I had to guess who Flink and Furfoot is, that'd be my guess. Like in D&D, it'd be a halfling or maybe a hobbit in Lord of the Rings or something. The Heroes for Hire thing reminded me of, I think, was it Marvel that had a Heroes for Hire group? Marvel Comics. Yeah, in Marvel Comics there's a group of superheroes with that name, Heroes for Hire. It's got like Luke Cage in it, and Iron Fist, and those people. And I beat Queen Nara. Awesome.
Player 2 wins.
Let's see. Peril Mountain. The only, I mean, that's an easy name to come up with, right? I did find that there's a Peril Peak, which is in northern Montana. It's also part of Glacier National Park. Dragonport is a fun. I like Dragonport because there's several legends from there. And oh, I can't seem to find.
Dragonport's.
Yeah.
Dragonport's is really nice.
But yeah, because Jala and Sidra and we know now Teros are associated with Dragonport. It's the name of a big Asian restaurant in wholesaler in Sweden, Dragonport. So make of that what you will, I guess.
I think it's more or less because it kind of has like the dragon thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously. Like if I see these real world names of like, there's a store named there's a construction company named Kaguma, or there's a place called Dragon. Yeah, but I just think it's fun to note that like. But yeah, Dragonport. That's an easy kind of fantasy name for a port city. But we also know it belongs to Jala, thanks to Sidra's lack of drinking ability or gambling or whatever.
Drinking ability. She couldn't hold her liquor.
That's what it was.
Pathetic.
That's what it was. But yeah, so go ahead.
I think she just like passed out.
Yeah.
Like whenever that happened,
it is weird because you'd think
like,
that Sidra, like she's a corsair, she's a pirate. You'd think that she'd be able to.
But she didn't.
But she didn't.
She lost it.
Yep, that reminds me of a scene in the extended Lord of the Rings movies in which Legolas the elf and Gimli the dwarf challenges Legolas the elf to a drinking contest because Gimli's like, there's no way I'll lose. I'm a dwarf and you're an elf and all that. And then when Gimli's about to pass out, Legolas says something like, I feel a slight tingling in my fingers. I think it's starting to get to me. And then Gimli's just gone. Anyway. But yeah, Fangwild Forest makes a lot of sense. I think Teros would feel really at home in Fangwild Forest because it's kind of its own labyrinth anyway. And apparently
Fangwild is very interesting. I love Fangwild.
Fangwild is...
A lot of people love it.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Keep missing Hattori there. But yeah, I don't think I need to say much. We'll say more about Fangwild when we talk about Ember. The Iron Legion and Battle of Orc Pass. We can say more about that when we talk about Zul, which is a little ways away. But Battle of Orc Pass is one of the places where we also hear about Azoth as well. We don't hear Azoth's name, but
Azoth is everywhere.
He really is. But the Battle of Orc Pass, I mean, we don't know all the details about like how it went or like who fought who or whatever. And there's something about like turning the tide and how the Iron Legion was like Jala convinced the Iron Legion to switch sides or something. I don't know. But my guess is the Iron Legion fought for, at least for a while, Azoth, the Zombie Lord, which is obviously Azoth. That's a non-subtle way of saying it's him. And then I think Jala kind of like convinced the Iron Legion to switch sides. I think, I don't know. Teros probably wouldn't care either way.
As long as I'm fighting, I think I'm good.
As long as he's smashing things. Yeah.
As long as I can smash in some skulls.
Basically, but not smash in some Zulls because he likes Zul. I'm assuming.
He does that. He does that in Brawlhalla.
Right. There we go. I'm not great with
Sometimes you
that.
gotta just.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's this one. Sometimes you gotta just realize they're like, oh hey, I'm dead. I can ruin myself as much as I want.
Oh yeah. I know plenty of legends who just love that. Like, it specifically says that Wu Shang was very happy about that. He doesn't have to kill anybody here. He can't. But there are so many legends that are just like, yes, nothing but fighting. I love it.
I feel like there would be a legend other than Wushang who just be like, I don't really want to do this, you know? At least not for eternity.
Well, I mean, is there another legend that would feel that way? It's hard for me to think of. Like, if you're already here, like in the top legends of Brawlhalla, you have to love fighting, I think. I mean, a lot of these people are like really nice people. Like,
Did
right?
Fate, like...
Oh, Fate?
Is she okay with fighting?
I think she just finds it all very fun, I think. She just seems to really enjoy using her magic, and I think she might have more fun outside of battle with, like, the band and, you know, tweeting and things like that. But she must enjoy battle or, like, using her magic enough to be this good, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, Teros is cool because of all the connections. There's connections to Zol, Azoth, Ember, Sidra, Bryn, several
There's
at
a
once.
lot of connections.
But I think that's actually all I have for Teros. So, but yeah, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, GG, fellow lore nerds.